One of the great injustices of the last month is that while thousands of corporate media segments have been devoted to assessing Joe Biden's fitness to be president of the United States for another 4 years, a real story, mind you, an absolutely real story, very little attention has been paid by the same corporate media for years while we were seeing Donald Trump's very obvious decline, or even to Donald Trump's completely mangled and garbled RNC speech last Thursday, which lasted a record-setting 93 minutes. Trump had another complete and total collapse of his ability to speak and to change the firing synapses in his brain into coherent American English. People say often that Trump's riffs and rants are taken out of context. Well, let me prove you wrong. Here is Trump's full riff from Saturday's rally, where he starts by talking about how brilliant authoritarian Chinese leader President Xi is, going into all sorts of other things. This is tough to watch. And the reason we're doing this is the MAGATs love to say it's been taken out of context. The MAGAPotamians go, oh, you only showed a little bit of it. Well, make heads or tails out of this mangled and scrambled attempt at speech.
Can you imagine these killers, these are sharp. You know, the press gets angry. They said, is President Xi of China, is he a smart man? I said, no, he's a brilliant man. He controls 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. He makes guys like Biden look like babies. They don't even know whether they're coming or going. Yes, he's... The next day, headline, Trump calls him brilliant. How dare... No, okay. Let's say he's not a smart man. Okay, whatever makes you happy. No matter what you do, I say he's a brilliant man. They went crazy because I called him brilliant. So I'm just going to have to say, he's okay. No, he's very smart. But, and you know what else? He's a fierce person. Do you understand that? Some of the people here know that, what this means.
Now, remember, if I stopped it even here, there would be people, oh, he was getting to the point. He's building to the point. This all makes sense. All right, well, let's keep going a little bit. I won't subject you to the entire thing. Don't worry.
Especially some of the women, right? They know better than the men about fierce. I know the women. They know better than the men. They're more fierce than the men. Oh, her. But no, he's a fierce individual. He's a fierce man. Can you imagine when he meets this guy? He thinks Trump is playing a joke on him. He actually thinks there's some kind of that I'm playing a joke. He doesn't believe what happened. He doesn't believe the last election.
By the way, the woman in the green shirt over Trump's right shoulder seems to be the one person on the stage who's kind of like, wow, this is really going haywire.
He doesn't believe. He thinks I'm playing a joke on him. But can you imagine President Xi, Putin, all of them? They're all smart, tough. They love their country or they want to do well with it.
All right. So listen, this goes on and on. It's nuts. It's nuts, and corporate media does not talk about the completely mangled and scrambled nature of it. Now, there were also really other concerning things that took place during this rally. Trump bragging about how Elon Musk is going to be giving him $45 million a month, and therefore he has to make life good for Elon.
And so are other. We have to make life good for our smart people. You know, we have some smart people. We have to make life good for our smart people. And he's as smart as you get. But Elon endorsed me the other day, and I didn't even know this. He didn't even tell me about it. But he gives me $45 million a month.
Yeah.
And so are other. We have to make...
So listen, he's telling you what he's going to do. He's going to make life good for people like Elon Musk, who happens to already be the richest person in the world. Basically, the campaign in its entirety. The rally filled with praise of authoritarians, attacks on the media, fear-mongering about migrants, more weird praise of Hannibal Lecter. There was a shark versus electrocution portion of the rally, which now is part of every Trump rally.
I don't think there's anything wrong with this, do you? Because it's an analogy. I say, and if there's a shark about 10 yards away, right where they are, right where all the congressmen are, right over there, look at us. Well, they're sharks. They're sharks. If there's a shark about 10 yards away, do I get electrocuted or do I go with the shark? I said, because I will take electrocution all day long.
All right, so none of this makes any sense and barely a peep out of corporate media. By the way, Trump continuing to praise authoritarians and how great it is for them to protect us.
They're all smart, tough. They love their country or they want to do well with their country, whatever it is, all ideology. But we have to have somebody that can protect us. And Orban was right. We have to have somebody that can protect us.
Orban, an extraordinary right-wing authoritarian. This should be absolutely terrifying to anyone who wants free and open Western democratic societies. The topic of Project 2025 did come up. Trump again claiming, I don't know a thing about it, even though it's been so widely debunked. He knows everything about it.
Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right, and they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it.
Knows nothing about it, and some of the stuff is extreme, although certainly no denial that he'll try to implement every one of those things. And remember, Trump doesn't have to know every provision in Project 2025 to be inextricably linked to it, in particular now through his VP, J.D. Vance. Then we got to the go after Kamala Harris moment of the rally. This was before President Biden announced he's not running for re-election, but Trump still going after Kamala Harris because of how she laughs. This is all they have, my friends.
From the moment we take back the White House from crooked Joe Biden and Kamala, I call her Laughing Kamala. You ever watch her laugh? She's crazy. You know, you can tell a lot by a laugh. No, she's crazy. She's nuts. She's not as crazy as Nancy Pelosi, crazy Nancy.
And then, of course, Trump, whose ear seems to be healing very quickly from being shot, doesn't need the huge bandage anymore. Trump trying to bring up the supporters of his who were shot a week ago at the failed assassination attempt. And he has to read them off of a teleprompter very carefully, very, very carefully to avoid mangling their names as well.
Ronnie Jackson. We continue to pray for the recovery of the two citizens who were wounded in that evil attack, David Dutch and James Copenhaver, two really incredible people. We remain in contact and send our deepest respect to the families. Corey, as you know, Corey Comparator was a brave firefighter who died, funeral yesterday, shielding his wife and daughters from bullets. He shielded them from the bullets of this horrendous person. Corey was a hero, and we will carry his memory in our...
You can tell he really means it and is speaking so passionately about what took place on that horrible day in Butler, Pennsylvania. This needs coverage, and it's not getting coverage because the focus has been on President Biden. Now, what's the hope? The hope is, now that Biden has said, I'm stepping aside, now that Kamala Harris or someone younger will make Trump the oldest presidential nominee in American history, we can hope, let's hope, that there will be a responsible focus on the completely disoriented, mangled nature of these rally speeches, because otherwise there's really nothing. What other shoe could drop other than taking away the thousands of stories about Biden along these lines that would still explain why corporate media won't touch Trump's behavior? Let's hope it changes. We'll take a very quick break. Make sure you've gotten the Project 2025 white paper explaining. Trump may claim not to know what Project 2025 is. I wrote a 12-page white paper about it that you can download for free at davidpakman.com/Project 2025. There was recently a huge data breach at T-Mobile. 37 million customers' personal data was exposed, and the data stays online forever and for anyone to access. And the number of data breaches in the U.S. is increasing by about 80%. It is not getting any better. That's why it is so important to use a VPN anytime you connect to the internet. Changes your IP address, makes you anonymous. The only VPN I trust is private internet access. The only major VPN that is demonstrated in legal cases, they do not possess your internet activity, and the software is open source for the world to verify. When a company like T-Mobile or Verizon gets hacked and you were using a VPN, your data still gets leaked, but it's associated with a fake IP address, essentially, not linkable to you. Private internet access is optimized for streaming and file sharing without the lag and buffering you get with other VPNs. And one of my favorite things about a VPN is being able to access streaming content not normally available in my country, like UK Netflix. Get private internet access for 83% off. That's just $203 a month plus 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.